歴史をも動かす破壊力、時代を作る高性能、じっくりと試しましょう。レッツガトリン!
I just had to add that glorious English scene there. Kanyu has been quite the gem with those now, hasn't he? Anyways, Dark the Muffin Man is back today for a review slash discussion of Rurouni Kenshin episode 12, 2023 version. As usual, comparisons to the 90s version will be made. Right? Now, this episode starts off with Kenshi explaining the strength of Aoshi's use of the Kodachi, being that it lacks offense but has considerable defense. Now, the two fighters exchange a few blows here and there, with Kenshi receiving damage from Aoshi's Kenpo technique, which catches him off guard, right? Because of his delayed effect, his delayed blows, right? Now, we get to see what drives Aoshi and his group to fight. And it has nothing to do with Kanyu, but it has to do with the outcome of the battle of Toba Fushimi and the decision made by its leader, Yoshinobu Tokugawa. That was a flicking mouthful, right? Which he ended a large-scale war without bloodshed. Now, Aoshi and the Oniwa Band group, being with the warrior type, sees his decision as cowardly. By not being allowed to fight. Now, for some reason, the 90s version doesn't mention Yoshinobu at all. Maybe they probably just didn't see as that figure as being significant to Aoshi, but it is. Alright. In any case, it's a small but significant change, but in my view, it makes the Oniwa Band group seem even more simple than they already were to begin with, right? Kenshi here even calls out their simplicity and vows to put a halt to their, as he calls it, ice cold competitiveness, right? After a few blows, we get a slight extended scene with Kanyu in comparison to the 90s version. It's not that much different. Right, where he decides to test out his beautiful and elegant friend, right, as we will see later on in the episode. Moving back to the battle, Kenshi lands a hit on Aoshi by taking quite the risky move by adjusting his reach, essentially removing his blind spot, right? Moving back to the battle, Kenshi manages to land a hit on Aoshi by taking quite the risky move by adjusting his reach, removing his blind spot. And yeah, Aoshi doesn't see it coming. No, how does he? Huh? Aoshi decides to step it up after taking that hit, right? And he uses Katen Kembu, which delivers a devastating claw-like cut to Kenshi. Now, I'm not too sure how his Kodachi did that. Maybe it was 3 strikes in quick succession. Not sure, but one thing I do know is that I prefer this part here where Aoshi is dancing around or doing the sword dance move in the 90s version, right? It just looks cooler, right? Kenshi afterwards reveals that he blocked and half the damage with the sheath of his sword. To Aoshi's surprise, of course, and to the viewer's surprise too. But again, and you can kind of see it quick. If you go back and pause, you can see Kenshi blocking the hit. Right now, Aoshi tries his Kaiten Kembu once more, but it's a little bit too hasty. I think he's a little bit enraged. Maybe he's getting a little bit excited in the battle, and gets hit by Kenshi again with the same move, with the same improvisation of his reach that he used before, effectively ending the battle between them, as Kenshi refuses to deal the final blow. Here we get possibly my favorite scene of the episode, where we see how selfless, or the selfless side of Aoshi, as he reveals that he turned down more meaningful positions that could maybe like elevate him more, right? He refuses to do this because in his view he's abandoning his group, betraying them, his group, like Yoshinobu did. As stated before, he views him as a coward, and he would be seeing himself as a coward if he did the same thing, right? At the same time, he fully understands that Yoshinobu had to do that to bring peace, right? He did that for the greater good. Even if maybe Yoshinobu didn't like what he did, but he had to do it, right? Saving lives and elevating the nation, right? Now we get to see that Aoshi here truly wants his group to have pride, have something to live for. As they live for fighting, he wants them to have this pride of being the strongest, right? Because he knows is what they value in life, since fighting is what they truly know, right? Oh, this scene in both versions was emotional, but elevated more in the 90s version, as we see here that Aoshi is almost brought to tears, mentioning this fact about his group. And now here's Kanryu here, to spoil the show and show off what he wanted to test, this Gatling gun, right? Both versions had a different choice of the type of Gatling gun used. The 90s version going for what seemed to be the original model of the Gatling gun, while the 2023 version goes for one used a few years later on. Why am I telling you this for? Because I can. Anyways, Kanryu goes mad with power because of this, because of the strength of his new toy. Right? Do know that 90s Kanryu does seem a little bit more grounded in the way he's acting, not shouting to the heavens like his modern counterpart does. Now, this scene may not be that important, but it does bother me a little bit. Answer this, right? Isn't Hyotoko as tall as a building, or he has been shown to be incredibly tall, like inhumanly tall? How does he fit on a regular bed? Did they shrink him down, or am I imagining things here? Anyways, Aoshi is down for the count as he gets shot here in both legs, and just when it looks like Kanryu is gonna get the final shot, Shikijo steps in and takes a rain of bullets here for his comrade. Now, I'm not sure what happens in the next episode because I'm watching them at the same time, and I paused just when the new version paused or cut the episode. Shikijo should be dead, right? The way how they show the impacts of the shots aren't prevalent, like you don't see any holes. Even like Aoshi gets shot in his foot, but you don't really see it much. It's not prominent for either one of them. But Shikijo should be dead after receiving that kind of damage. But let's see what happens next week, right? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you for episode 13, right? Thank you for watching throughout this season of anime. Much appreciated to all of you who came through from Rurouni Kenshin. Got a little bit interrupted there. Alright, I don't know where the hell I cut off from, but wherever it may be, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week, okay? Goodbye, so long, and farewell, goodbye. It is out.